I'll just send you I took a couple of photos just for your Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Just so you can get them out there.
Oh, hey, do you want to grab Johnny?
Oh, I'll go Johnny. Johnny, do you mind if I grab you?
Yeah.
Sean Dev, I'll
No problem, mate.
All right. You're right, Jason? Yep. Just don't give it. Johnny, first up, Tyson Pedro, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an intriguing fight. You have a wonderful martial arts guy against a very good boxing. It's I can't pick the winner at all, and that's what makes a good fight.
It's an ambitious choice, though, to go up against someone like him.
Well, isn't it good to see something that's fair dinkum? We're not prone to be watching people that got themselves together by continuous sparring or whatever. It is a contest.
Talk to us about your young girl. How's she looking? What are her chances?
Yeah, no, she's a very, very impressive girl. Such a very, very wonderful girl outside the ring. In the ring, well, she can turn herself off to what's required. She's got it all, yeah, very much.
You just mentioned about a genuine fight. Just in general, are you encouraged by the young fighters coming through in Australia that boxing's sort of going through a second life at the moment?
Oh, most definitely, you know, and the fights on stand just, mate, we needed this. We really needed this, and I can see this. You know, a lot of experience behind it. Denny Green's been in the good side, the bad side, and whatever of boxing. He knows it like the alphabet. Angelo, they're always behind him. They were a good combination when they fought. They'll be a good combination in getting the fight game up to where it should be in Australia. They will achieve.
Thanks, mate. Actually, Johnny, can I have a quick photo with you? I'm a Wollongong boy. My dad will love this.
Did you know the Girdlers?
I did. Yeah, Ryan. I played league down there for a long time with John Gorey and stuff.
I see that they have something to do with his house.
Yeah, the boys are training in reserve grade. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, just need to put a couple of photos.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Thanks, mate.
How's he going? Oh, there.
There you go.
I'll go grab Gal after. Oh, think it, eh? We can close to it. Send me a message and I'll give you some info. You can go to our games if you want to sport out of London. Jumping up to my next one. It's been there since we started. Just got to get that balance right.
How was show last time? You and Gus?
Over one issue, we're nothing too crazy.
Yeah. What game for you this week? Yeah. All right, I'll see you then.
Yeah, Gus pissed off the trail. Hey! Gal, can I grab you for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Sean Devon, I'm working for Danny.
I
used to work with
We used to work together.
Hi,
He's,
good stuff.
yeah.
I had to pick her up in the mornings on Saturday mornings, mate. Green, puking everywhere.
Let's go.
I'm just doing a couple of videos. Paul, obviously the man that knocked you out, but what do you think his chances are?
Never knocked me out. He's got a good chance. It's going to be a great fight, cracking fight, to be honest. Look, I don't think... I'm not sure Tervieski can hurt Pedro. Pedro can definitely hurt Tervieski. I think if Pedro's going to win the fight, he's going to win by knockout. Chris is a really slick boxer, a really good boxer. I was lucky enough to be there with Justice Hooney and Chris Tervieski, my 2 losses, and Hooney's an unbelievable talent, but Tervieski's not far behind as far as boxing ability goes and slickness goes. So I think if it's a genuine boxing match, Tervieski has a good chance, but I think Tyson will be able to knock him out.
I was just talking to Johnny Lewis. From Tyson's perspective, it is an ambitious opponent. What do you think about someone taking a chance like that in their first fight?
Yeah, look, we talk about it is his first pro fight. We can't hide from that fact, but he's got a lot of experience. He had an amateur career, so he understands boxing. I've done a lot of rounds with him over the years. He's obviously been in the UFC, so he's thrown a lot of punches, so he knows what he's doing. I know it's his first pro fight, but I think we probably overplayed it a little bit to try and promote the event, which is fair enough. But I think realistically, he's experienced enough to take a fight like this on, and he said himself, if not now, then when? And he feels he's in his prime of his career, so there's no point having 1 or 2 warm-up fights to go into a fight like this. I think he's doing the right thing by taking on a pretty big fish in his first fight.
In terms of these younger fighters coming through, does it sort of encourage you to see that younger generation coming through boxing? Like, there's a bit of a rebirth of boxing at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, it has been for a few years, I think, and without doubt, it's good. Like, platforms like this are great for young boxers. Chris set up there. They dream about getting on this big stage and getting on TV, and when they get to do it, they've got to make the most of it. So I think the more platforms like this, the better for Australian boxing, and the better for these young Australian fighters. And hopefully they get on there, put on a good show. And if they put on a good show, they'll be welcome back. And that's what they need to do to try and get it. At the end of the day, it's about getting an earn out of the sport, isn't it? You don't want to do it just only get punched in the head for nothing. So the bigger the platforms are like this, and the better they fight, and the better show they put on, it's only going to be better for themselves and the public.
Thanks, mate. But let's
Quick straight away from everything. That's all. I almost forgot about you for a second. We're just on a few more, and I'll just let her in.
Tyson, Sean Dever, mate. I'm also interested in get some videos of you guys. Exciting or not?
Same size.
Ignore him.
Yep.
Look at the good look on.
Yeah, there you go. No.
All good. Tyson, you must be excited. I know it's an ambitious fight. Where are you at mentally at the moment? Physically, you're looking sharp, but mentally, what are your thoughts?
Fearless, confident, and unstoppable. I'm just ready to go. I know exactly where I am, supposed to be, and I just have so much belief in myself that I know I can do it. I don't expect anyone else to believe in me.
Just spoke to Paul Gallen. Paul Gallen thinks you're a really good chance, and he's also tipping a knockout.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to see?
We've done a couple of rounds, so Paul knows how I can fight. He's fought Chris, so it'll be interesting to see. But he knows better than I do who hits harder.
You've got a real legacy in your family. Your dad spoke at the press conference just then. I know he made a few jokes, but there have been some quiet moments where your dad sort of said, "Son, I'm really, happy to see you going this way."
At first, he didn't want me to do it at all. He was completely against it. So it's interesting because I originally started boxing. That was my love. I always used to watch YouTube videos of boxing, and it's funny because I sort of ended up doing what my dad wanted. It's almost like, I'm doing this for you, Dad. But it worked out how it's supposed to because I was on the right path. I was just a couple degrees off. So now I get to come back and do what I love, and I feel like have a much bigger sense of purpose when on this road.
I know it's a difficult question to ask, but if this goes well, what's the big dream? What's the world stage look like for Tyson Pedro?
can you imagine that? What a story. You just heard Mauricio say, if I pulled this off, then I'm on the #1 spot. If I do that, this is like movie-like. So everything that I've been dreaming of will be amazing if it comes to fruition.
And that belief's an important thing. I just spoke to Johnny Lewis and Gal about that. The younger generation's coming through. Does that also encourage you to see these younger fighters coming through boxing?
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put on amazing shows, and with Danny, we spoke about it. I was like, I'm coming in to fight the best people. I was like, I expect that all the way down the card. And to show that, listen, if you believe in yourself, like I said, there's a lot of other people that aren't going to. As long as you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Have a crack.
And that's the great thing about boxing too, having done a bit myself. It's that community
Little
sort
sneaky
of
brag.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done it. I'm not too bad myself.
But there's a great sort of community in boxing, isn't there? Like we hear a lot of stories about people's personal backgrounds and how boxing's brought them through, even in your own family.
Yep.
How important is that sense of community in boxing?
Yeah, like I said in the press conference, that's one of the reasons why I came over. Legacy, the Australian boxing fans and the Australian boxing community, they really respect their champions and they respect their athletes. And I hope that they can respect this hard, tough fight that I'm taking because of that. So that's why I'm taking this fight. You know, like I said, I didn't want to take a walkover or anything, and show them that I'm here for business.
And having someone like Danny Green backing young fighters, how important is that as well for the industry?
Yeah, it's very impressive, and just putting these young fighters onto big cards like this, like look at this as a stage, amazing. Some of these guys might not have experienced it before, so I'm so happy that Danny Green's able to do that.
How many rounds?
3.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks.
Can't wait. No. I'm Sean Devitt. I'm doing the PR with Danny.
Oh,
can I just grab you for a
for sure.
So ignore him, just look at me.
Got it.
Good. John, I just spoke to your son about the legacy, your own history. How does it make you feel as his father that he's following your footsteps?
Oh, man, what do? You're a parent. You get to follow around your child's dream while he's enjoying life and watch. I'm blessed. Can't be more happier. He's in the fight game. I kind of wish he didn't, but he's there. So I'm going to give him everything I got, all the support I got, advice. And we want to have fun. We want to laugh. We want to joy. You see him come out, he's smiling, he's happy. Because we're doing what we love. And that's why, I see people angry and upset. And why are they so angry? We're going to punch face. That's what we do. We signed on for, and we love it.
It is an ambitious opponent, though. Is there any nervousness there?
100%, of course. We're not naive. It's like someone coming to UFC from boxing, so we know we're biting off something big. But would anybody come to see us if we weren't? You got to go big or go home. And that's what we're doing. We've come to go big. So we jumped on with Danny Green, the Green Machine, and we're going for the most exciting ride we've been on for a while.
I just spoke to Paul Gallen, and Gal reckons that if anyone's going to knock him out, it'll be Tyson by a knockout. Tyson just said to me 3 rounds with a knockout. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I work with my son. I believe in him. He has a big right hand. A lot of guys do, but he's fast and accurate with it. So, look, we're not taking anything from his opponent. He's fast, he's slick, he's smart. So we got a lot to work on, but I'm backing my son to hurt people. and I think he got the power and speed. Like everyone keeps saying his power and forget about his speed. He's fast for 100 kilos. And so I'll put it on my son. You know, to try to say he's not going to knock out this guy, I think under 5 rounds he's going to hurt him.
Just on another note, I spoke to Tyson and Gal and Johnny Lewis about the boxing community in Australia. The boxing community supports a lot of young people who've had, you know, troubles in the past. They've got interesting backstories. You've had an interesting past yourself. How important is that the community supports young people?
Man, look, that's what we love about Australia. That's what he loved about it. When he came here and decided he wants to fight here in Australia, he wants to bring the big fights to Australia. He loves Australia. He loves the West, where he came from. He loves who he is and the people. And so we couldn't be more happier being here, doing what he loves at home with his family and kids. So we won the trifecta and everything.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Thank
Johnny.
you. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, brother.
I was going to say thank you for the question. Thank you for the question.
Sean, great. Jason, Sean needs to do Chris after.
Chris? Yeah. No dramas. It's all good. It'll be free after this. Yeah. Great turnout. Couple of lovely. Just having a fun down with Silver here. But he ducked out quite quickly. Where will this stuff go?
So I've been using it
Oh, did you?
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Oh, it's already still. Yeah, he was.
Well, that's the style.
So you know that.
Chris. Mate, I'm Sean. I'm working with Danny. Good, brother. I'm just going to do some Q&As for all the news networks.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry, Mum. Ignore him, just look at me.
Right, yeah.
Good. Chris, how are you feeling? I just spoke to Gal, and Gal said, mate, if anyone's going to knock you out, it might be Tyson. How are you feeling?
Look, I'm super excited. I'm grateful to be on this stage and on this platform. I saw Gal obviously was up there saying he's back in Tyson. That's all well and good, you know. Sydney boys obviously done a lot of training together, but you got to land that shot to knock me out, and I don't think he'll be able to land that type of shot. You know what I mean?
Physically, you look in great shape. Where's the head at? How are you planning, leading up to this bout?
Yeah, look, at the moment I'm excited. You know, preparations are well and truly underway. I think at this level, you know, I'm getting used to these bright lights still. You know, it's my second time being on such a big platform. You know, it's sort of, you still pinch yourself as a kid. You want to be at these moments and stuff like that. So I'm so grateful to be around guys like yourself and are on these bright lights and big stage. But as the fight gets closer and the preparation gets more and more complete, you know, the confidence comes into it, and I'll be ready to put on a show come fight time.
How good is it? You just talk about the big lights. How good is this for the sport, though, generally, to have these bouts?
Oh, it's amazing, mate. Like I was saying, you know, as fighters, when we don't sort of come through that Olympic pedigree, or you're on the small shows, you're hustling so hard, you know, a lot of people look at boxing, you know, in other professions, and they look up to fighters for the work that we put in and the sacrifice, and obviously ultimately getting in and putting your health on the line. And we don't get the reward that we deserve, you know. And now when we've got platforms and stages like this, it's so good to see, like, again, being able to headline one of these things, for me and for my family, it means so much. So, you know, massive props to Stan Sport, to Green Promotions, G'd Up, all these guys getting behind the fighters, because ultimately, you know, without everyone here, it's such a hard grind, you know. So I'm so thankful, and hopefully we get more and more things like this. You know, more competition means better opportunity for fighters. So that's ultimately what I care about.
And obviously Tyson's come over from UFC. UFC's revolutionised the sport, you know, in the last 10 years or so. But how good is it for boxing now to actually, you know, come off that wave of success and to see the younger generations coming through?
Yeah, look, it's great, man. I'm a massive fan of UFC, and I think that what they've been able to do for combat sports is huge, you know, and him coming from that place and that combat discipline, like, to come over, it takes I've got a lot of respect for that, because like I was saying, I don't think I'd be heading over to MMA in a 9-week period to jump in and let him kick my legs and stuff like that. So I'm glad that he's made the jump to boxing in my world, and nothing but respect for doing that.
What do you see? You just alluded to it then. Obviously MMA, it is a different sport. What are the challenges? If you had to give Tyson a few tips, what would you be saying to him about coming across to boxing?
I just think, you know, when you do any type of combat sport, you know, you learn how to throw hands, and people can look at fighting and say, look, there's so many more weapons in MMA, but there's a lot of nuances in boxing. You know, there's things like the distance, you know, different types of defense. There's a lot that goes into just throwing two hands. It's not as easy as people think, where you just walk up and can land a punch on a human being, you know. So I've been dedicating my life, you know, for the last 18 years to this sport and this craft. So to jump in and commit for 9 weeks, you know, like, I wish him all the best, but I don't think that's enough time to prepare for, you know, the different nuances in you know, the sweet science.
June 12, how many rounds can we expect to see?
Look, from all reports I'm hearing, he wants an early night. You know, if I can get that too, that'd be great. Like,
3, I think he told me.
He said 3. All right, great. Well, if it goes past 3, he's in trouble.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Cheers, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Ignore him. You good? Yep. Danny, how are you feeling? It's a very ambitious opponent Tyson's chosen. How do you think it's going to play out?
Very ambitious opponent. Chris Terziewski is far more experienced pugilist. But Tyson's been under the bright lights on the big stage. So there's a bit of evenness in as far as when they go into the ring, the pressure on both of them. I almost see the pressure more on Terziewski, because the boxing community are all going to be going, mate, you need to beat this guy. This guy's coming across from a former amateur career back in the day, but he went to UFC for a long time. Now he's coming back to boxing. We're boxers. You need to beat this guy. There's a lot of pressure on Chris Terziewski.
I asked Chris about that, though. Obviously, UFC's grown enormously in popularity, but in terms of that challenge going back to boxing, what's your advice to Tyson in terms of his structure and how he's going to play the fight?
He's got to work to his strengths. Obviously, he needs to try and nullify what Chris Terziewski is going to be trying to do to him. I think Chris is going to be on the back foot. Tyson's very strong. He's very imposing. He's got a lot of presence in the ring. Chris will be aware of that. He'll feel that immediately. So he'll be trying to walk Tyson onto shots. Tyson's got to be clever, be patient, but he's got to impose his will.
You talk about patience. Tyson's told me and some of the other people here today he's looking to get this done in 3 rounds. Is that too impatient, do you think?
It's what makes this guy exciting. He wants to get the job done. He's made no bones about making an immediate impact in the sport of boxing. He couldn't have chosen a bigger challenge in Terziewski.
You look at the card across the fighters you had here today. From your inside, like, looking at some of these younger fighters coming through, what does that say about the sport of boxing in Australia?
It's in a really healthy position. It's had a renaissance the last decade. It's been in a really strong position. Worldwide, we've got a lot of really big names on the world stage. Obviously Tim Tszyu, Joe Pataya's lighting him up overseas. The Maloney brothers, one's fighting for a world title, the other one's defending his world title. You got Alex Winwood potentially to fight for the WBC world title in his next fight. He's victorious on June 12 on this show. Liam Paro. There's some. Sky Nicholson just won a world championship. She's the WBC champ. So there's a lot of really high-level boxing going on in men's and women's boxing around the world, not just here domestically. and we aim to showcase that talent and nurture more talent on the way through so we can continue the renaissance that Australian boxing's in.
But do you think we've learned how to market the business of boxing better? There were a lot of compliments towards you today saying, have a look at this stage, look at these events that people like Danny Green are putting on. Have we got better at promoting the sport of boxing?
Yeah, I think we've taken a leaf out of the book of, you know, the overseas guys when they put the big shows on. They've got the big budgets, the bright lights, the big names. But Australian boxing's, you know, growing and it's getting stronger, and so people want to see more, and the whole production has to step up.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Easy. Thanks a lot, Sean.
Oh, good, mate.
Legend.
So we'll put this on a link. Will your guys in Melbourne, can they cut stuff up to put on social channels and stuff? Will they do that for you?
In Melbourne? Let me ask.
Because we can send them a link to the video, and then they can just cut it all up and do what they want with it. I'll ask you right here.
Shut that one off so you can't accidentally.
What was it do, Chasing?
No, to get the copy.